Hi. So I just wanted to talk a little bit today about how a lot of what we've been taught about diet and nutrition is not actually true. If you take a look at the food pyramid and you actually see the quantities at which they're suggesting you eat certain portions of grains, vegetables, fruits, nuts, oils a day, it really doesn't seem feasible for an average person to eat that much food. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about things that don't make a lot of sense, such as the food pyramid. I mean, if you're going to be eating that much food, you're probably going to hurt yourself. I tend to go along with eating when I'm hungry and eating only as much as I feel like eating. And I'm doing fine. I don't have to eat 8 servings of vegetables. I mean, if that's what I ate, then that would be all that I ate, because I wouldn't have room for anything else, to be honest with you. I mean, unless one serving would be like 1 carrot, a miniature carrot, in which case I could definitely do that. Otherwise, there's no way. One thing I do to increase my vegetable intake is I juice. I juice dark leafy greens. It'd take me way longer to eat all of those leaves than it would to drink that cup of juice that comes from those leaves. Another thing I wanted to talk about was sprouting. A lot of people don't know about this. This is huge, and basically all grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds need to be soaked or sprouted before you eat them. The reason why is because they have enzyme inhibitors known as phytic acid. And what this does is basically when you're digesting something, you will actually release specific enzymes in your saliva, you'll release them in your stomach, and even in your intestines. So what you want to do is you don't want to eat nuts and seeds before sprouting or soaking, because phytic acid is an enzyme inhibitor. Essentially what happens is you eat it, and then the enzyme inhibitor on the seed will neutralize your enzymes. So you won't actually digest the food right away. It'll just sit in your stomach and ferment until you can secrete more enzymes to overpower the fact that they neutralize, the neutralizing effect of the enzyme inhibitor. So this is why I believe there's so many people who have wheat allergies, why people are actually buying into this whole gluten-free type of dietary recommendation. I don't think taking out the major component of the grain is going to help you. I mean, that's why you eat it. It has protein in it. Gluten is protein. So you want that. What you need to do is you need to sprout it instead. You need to sprout the grain. You need to soak it. And what that'll do is it'll get rid of the enzyme inhibitor. Because in nature, you've got the seed sitting outside for a period of time. It doesn't, nature makes sure that whatever actually germinates has a higher success of flourishing, and you don't want it to prematurely germinate. So the seed waits until the conditions are right, which means it has to undergo a specific period of soaking. Okay, it has to have this much moisture. That takes a couple days. All right, so it doesn't prematurely germinate and then die because conditions are it's a drought or something. And so basically what happens is it'll germinate, it'll send out its little roots, but before it has a chance to actually extract nutrition from the soil, it will start to secrete enzymes in order to digest what is in the seed, the actual seed contents. And the reason why this is so important as well is because not only are you getting rid of the enzyme inhibitor, but you're actually increasing the enzymatic content of the seed, the nutritional density. And this seed or nut, when sprouted, is going to be that much more enzymatically powerful than the product of the seed, which is the plant that results. For instance, you've got cabbage seeds or mustard seeds that people will actually sprout them and eat the sprouts. Those are actually more powerful than if you let that grow into a full plant and then eat it. In terms of enzyme content, just because it needs to digest the contents of the seed, and the way it does that is with enzymes, in much the same way that we do. And so that's why it's so important to participate in this sprouting and soaking practice, and I will make a video later showing you how to do that. There's also another traditional method of preserving food that we do not participate in our culture, and that is lacto-fermentation. This is also very huge. This increases the enzyme content of whatever you're eating. Say you're going to make sauerkraut, cabbage. You have the cabbage initially, it's raw, it has enzymes in it. When you lacto-ferment it, through the microbial process of basically consuming the sugars in the food, you will get a byproduct called lactic acid. You'll also get several more enzymes that were not present at the time of, before you ever fermented it. So what that does is it increases the enzymatic content. You eat a little bit of this with your meal, and what this does is it allows your body to borrow enzymes from that food rather than take it from your own body, okay? Because we need enzymes for all of our chemical reactions and biological reactions that go on in our body. And every time that we eat something that's not raw or fermented or sprouted, we're actually stealing from our own source of enzymes. We're depleting our sources of enzymes. So what you want to do is you want to increase the enzyme content of your food so that you don't have to produce all the enzymes in order to digest what you're eating, okay? I've got a couple of books that I wanted to recommend. Wild Fermentation by, Sandor Elix Katz. I'll try to put up links for these books. Nourishing Traditions by Sally Fallon. That one is absolutely wonderful. And I also have some other ones, but I can discuss those later. Like a lot of information out there, or misinformation, I call this the age of misinformation because you've got so much craziness, so much of an opinion going around that you can't decipher truth from fact, and you don't really know what has its basis in fact. So basically the same thing holds true with nutrition. I say if you don't like it, don't eat it. Don't force yourself to eat things you don't like. I mean, that's the whole idea, is you eat things that you enjoy, you eat things that are healthy for you, and you don't have this issue of binging and eating things, like Thanksgiving. Okay, finish.